So do you want to have a retirement where you can live anywhere you want, do what you want, with whoever you want, whenever you want? If that sounds like a retirement for you, how are they going to get that?
I don't know.
So most people want a retirement where they can do what they want, when they want, and with whoever they want. But a lot of people don't ever get that.
Yeah,
Why do you think that is?
difficult.
Is it difficult?
Maybe.
Maybe, huh? Well, why do you think if somebody, say they move to Thailand and they want to have a great retirement, and they know it's not expensive in Thailand or Vietnam, why do you think they end up not being happy?
Why? They can't worry.
They worry. What do you think they worry about?
Because leave their home.
Because they leave their home. That's true. A lot of things about their home is about who they were before they retired. And this has to do with, where they live, the Punpan, the neighborhood. So the things that I want to talk about today are why I see foreigners that move to Thailand and move to Vietnam and they aren't happy. And, they have things in common. And a lot of it is, and I mentioned this before, is they don't ever have a hobby, something to do. And this also has to do with who they think they are, who they see themselves as. And so the challenge I see people have when they want to retire, they watch my videos or our videos and other people's videos, and they say, yeah, it looks good because you can talk to people, you can talk to strangers, it's not expensive, so their money they have for their retirement goes further. In Thailand, the medical is really good, the hospitals and the doctors are just incredible. And they think, I'm going to move there, I'm going to have a great life. And so they move, and then all of a sudden they find themselves not so happy. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is I'll do on another video, but today I wanted to talk about how people, as they grow up, and they have to go out and start a family, right? So they get a family, and they say, oh, they got to have a house. So they buy the house, and, well, do they want to live in Punban? Who's going to be their neighbors? Muban, where are they going to live? And so they choose the neighborhood that they're going to live in to match who they see themselves as. So if you work as an electrician, or you work as an executive or an office worker, you sell insurance or you sell cars, or you have your own company, that all determines where you live, the size of the house you have, right? What you do as your hobby. Do you play golf? Do you play tennis? Do you have a boat? You go out on weekends. This is all real important. You're involved with clubs. You have a club where you do that. So this is all what I see people, they develop their identity over their lifetime. And so my question to the people watching this is, who are you? Who are you? Nesta, yeah, good answer. But if I ask you, who are you? Besides your name, what would you tell me?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Well, a lot of people, they're sure as they go through their life. But what happens when I ask people this question, which is a really important question, who are you? If I ask you that right now, who are you? What would be your answer? because you really need to understand this. This isn't something I'm going to take lightly. And so I'm posing it to people because I want to get them from where they are now to where they want to be. And some people are already in Thailand living or in Vietnam. And they're having some challenges.
Yeah.
And so they reach out to me and say, become members. And they say, well, what's happening? And one of our members, Wayne, passed on an article that really got me thinking about this. And it was about if somebody ties their identity, who they think they are, to their work. And then they retire. Who are they? They're no longer in charge. They don't have people below them, that they're the boss of a company. So are you a boss? Were you a boss when you were working? Did you have people working underneath you? Did you have your own company? Were you part of a team, maybe a bowling team, or part of a golf club, something where you had something that you were part of? All this is important because it creates who people see themselves as. So if your identity was tied to how much money you made, your job description, where you live, and all this, and you give that all up, this is a problem with anybody that retires. They give them the gold watch and say, you worked here 20 years, great, thanks, have a good retirement, see ya. The next day, what do? Who are they? The question becomes, who are you? If you retire and don't have to go to work anymore, and you can do what you want, when you want, with whomever you want, okay, what are you going to do? Who are you going to do it with? And when are you going to find yourself doing it? This is a big problem for people. So if their identity is constructed around what they did and who they are, and you lose that, you lose who they think they are. And all of a sudden now they're just a person living in Thailand doesn't cost so much money. But what do they do every day when they wake up? They look in the mirror. If you retire and you don't have any work anymore, don't have to go to work, and you have some money to live, it doesn't matter if you stay home or you come to Thailand or someplace. You look in the mirror, who are you going to see? You're going to see the executive? You're going to see the electrician? You're going to see the entrepreneur? Who are you going to see? You're going to see a person who's left. If all that's taken away now...
Family.
Yeah, family's an important thing, but a lot of people, the family, either the wife has passed away, the kids are grown up, so you say, oh, I'm a father. But the kids don't really need you anymore. They have their own family and everything. So the role, we call role, of taking care of the family is now gone. And I know a lot of people are pulled. Some of our members, one of our members went back home. The wife didn't want to really hang out here. He loved it. He got all his needs fulfilled over here, but she didn't. And so now there's this pull because her role was always taking care of the family. And she couldn't do that when she was here. And so she needed to fulfill that role, where he was sort of done with that and wanted to be here where he can talk to people and have new friends, and it's not expensive, and his relationships with people grew, and he was fine, but she wasn't. So this is really important. So this can lead to some problems with people emotionally if they come over and they don't have a new hobby. So what I always suggest to people is, if I ask you, who are you, and it's tied to what you did, how much money you made, and all those things, then you need to think before you get over. And if you're already here and you're watching this, you need to think about this now. You need to reinvent yourself. It's like if you start from nothing, okay, who do you want to be? I'd say look forward and say, who do you want to be? What kind of person do you see yourself as? A giving person that wants to be connected and help other people. If that's the case, then you need to develop hobbies and interests. And they don't have to be in Thailand because it's hard to work and hard to volunteer, but they can be online. You can do videos on YouTube. If you're going to be, okay, I want to feel helpful and I have a lot of knowledge about electronics, electricity, or farming, or growing orchids, or whatever. You need to focus on that and let that become your vehicle for your new identity. You're going to be the person who helps other people learn how to grow orchids, or grow organic tomatoes, or, you know, collecting butterflies. It doesn't matter what it is. You have to have an identity. Who are you going to be? And what I want to do also is challenge you to chunk up another level beyond what you do, and say you're more than that. Because on a spiritual level, if you can't continue your profession, and that's going to be distressing, yeah, you can go learn to do something else. You know, you can also become a student. Can be a student, and you can actually learn to do things you never did before. Learn to paint. We have a member's wife who never painted before. I asked her, "Did you ever paint before?" She said no, and she's painting incredible paintings, and she'd never done it before. So if I ask her, well, now, who are you? And she said, a painter. Again, she's tied her identity to what she does. And what I want to say is also go up one level above that and say, I'm more than that. On a spiritual level, you don't have to confine yourself to an identity. One day you can be one thing, and another day be something else. You don't have to tie yourself. But as human beings, we sort of want that. We want to know who we are so we can feel comfortable in our own skin. I say you're just a spiritual being having a human experience. And so don't tie yourself to that, because I think it limits you. But most people need to feel that certainty and that connection to an identity of who they are. And so me, when I first came over, it was real easy because nobody was doing this. So it was adventurous, it was exciting, it was challenging. And so that became sort of the identity I had for myself as a person that was, you know, I don't want to say like Indiana Jones, but, you know, it was like that. It was really a challenge. Getting to place, nobody spoke English, and, you know, you had to really figure out things and be a MacGyver to figure out how to do things. And so that became an identity. Was Thailand and this part of the world changed when so many people could come over, and it became easier. My identity had to change. And so now it's about helping other people to have a life like this, and that's why I created the member site and do these videos to help people out to have a life. Because not only is their life about what they did, but when they retire, maybe they don't have a lot of money. And so when they worked and had a paycheck coming in, it was easy to have a good life. But now, what do they do if they don't have a lot of money? So they went from up here to now down here. I have to live a very simple life. You know, I can't go play golf, you know, every week because I don't have that money coming in as an income anymore. So you have to reinvent yourself, and reinvent not only who you are and how you see yourself, but reinvent your life. How do you become happy with a simple life? Because you can have a better life, I think, more life for less money here in Southeast Asia than back home. Now, some people argue and say, no, I can live real cheap back home. Well, look at the society that you'll be in every day, who you're going to be surrounding yourself with, what neighborhood you're going to live in and everything. Yeah, you can live simple, but it won't be on the same level of the playing field you would be over here. I mean, for what is 30,000 dong is 50 cents. You can sit in a place like this. Beautiful view. The pond here with the fish and the music and everything. And we're paying 50 cents for a fresh coffee or a shake. And so I think if you come over here, don't just identify yourself with being a ripper, a retiree in paradise, which you will be, but think beyond that and how you're going to wake up every day and be fulfilled. How are you going to see yourself? What are you going to do every day? Because you're going to have to fill your day.
Yeah.
You have always
Option.
Yeah, so you can have a lot of options of what your choices are, because things will be cheap here. You know? And so you're going to have to say, okay, how am I going to fill my days? Am I going to be learning? Am I going to be teaching? What is it going to be? Where are my friends going to be? Are my friends going to be online through social networks, or are my friends going to be in my neighborhood? These are all things I want you to really consider and think about. Because why I'm here is about mostly all the intangibles. Yeah, it's inexpensive to live, and we have an incredible life for a little bit of money. And right now, as I'm making this one in Vietnam, I just told Nat was yesterday. I said, you know, it's costing us a lot less money at the end of the month. There's a lot less taken out of our account than back in Thailand, and I'm not sure why, except maybe our life has
More simple.
it's simpler here. And plus, I'm eating a little different now because I wanted to get healthy and lose some weight, and I've accomplished that. And I think my choice in food now is less expensive, and so that's helped out a lot. But it's really less expensive, and so I have to ask myself this as well: if I stop doing these videos about retirement, or close up the member site, or something like that, what would I do? Because now everybody sees me even on the street in Vietnam and stuff. Yesterday at the store, someone goes, "Hey, I saw your videos." You know, some great lady, a lawyer, and recognized me in a store here in Vietnam. So this is sort of an identity that I have, even though I don't really, I don't really. It comes with what I do, but it isn't who I am. Who I am is about helping people, whether we're in Isan or Vietnam or whatever. I'm always looking for ways to help people and connect with people. And so that's who I see myself as, an extension of everybody else. I feel what you feel. And that's why I want to help you to accomplish what it is. So the next thing I would do would be, okay, what else do people want to feel? And how am I going to help accomplish that? Because that's my role, and that's who I see myself as. But who do you see yourself as? And if you've taken away and you're finding yourself on this unsteady ground of, I no longer have that identity of, who I was when I was working, well, who are you going to be? What's your next identity? What is your next role? And how are you going to interact with people and yourself? Because you're going to have to look in the mirror every day. So this is important for everybody to consider. And so I just wanted to mention this and bring this video. People probably are saying, well, your videos aren't showing how cheap, how much the pad thai is, or how much is banh mi sandwich in Vietnam, or how much is your rent. I showed the rent. We showed the food. So we already did that. And so these things that I bring up now are the things I think are the difference between a successful retirement in Southeast Asia or not. And through 7 years, 8 years I've been doing this, and thousands of people came through the member site, and a lot of them ended up over here. Only a few of them have gone home, and I think it's because we were able to address these issues. And I spent a lot of time one-on-one with the members and stuff, talking to people every week about these kinds of things, of how to be successful in a retirement. And so I think that's the difference. And so I wanted to pass this on to people on YouTube about, consider this. If you're thinking about coming and living over here, or you're already here, this is important and something you really should consider. And so I hope it's helpful. I hope it's informative. I hope they'll think about becoming members of the member site, because we can help out a lot more one-on-one and personal stuff. But remember,
Always options.
yeah, always options. And even when it comes to how you see yourself, there's an option. So think about this. And if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Yeah, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you in the next video. Till then, JC and Nat out. See ya.
Bye.
Hey, JC here. My goal is always to help you get from where you are now to where you want to be, which is probably a life in Thailand. And I know a lot of questions come up about all sorts of things regarding insurance and vehicles, transportation, housing, relationships, getting licenses, all that stuff. And I want to help you by answering as many questions as I can. And if I can't answer them, then I'll reach out to you personally. But I'm going to leave a link in the description to where you can click on that and be able to tell me what it is that you're interested in and what kind of information, and I'll be able to try and answer it, because I'm probably not going to be able to answer it within the YouTube comments anymore because of time constraints. It's just getting to be too much of a task to go through all the comments. So if you have a question, direct it to me. There'll be a link in the description, and I'll be back in touch with you to try and get as much relevant information to you as I can. Remember, when it comes to getting the information you need about retiring in Thailand, there's always an option. See you, JC out. Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.